Hello everyone, welcome back. So I've been testing out a different PvP spec for Battlegrounds, and I'm going to take you through that today. So for the skills, I'm using Soulfire, Bone Wall, Bone Spikes, Bone Spirit, and Wraith Form. For the greens, I'm using Banquet of Eyes. 2-piece deals damage to enemy suffering from continual damage effects increased by 15%. And your critical hit chance is increased by 2.5%, up to 25% for every continual damage effect you inflict upon nearby enemies. And the 6-piece, when you apply continual damage effect to an enemy, you enter poison rage for 12 seconds, during which the damage will corrode enemies, dealing damage over 3 seconds. You cannot enter the poison range more than every 40 seconds. I don't have the 6-piece, but seems quite interesting.
Until legendary weapon.
If we look at the essences, on the head I'm using Hideous Dawning. Bone Spikes now causes enemies to bleed for additional damage and no longer charges up. Increase Bone Spikes maximum charges to 3. Bone Spikes damage is increased by 18%. For the chest, Exhuman's Backbone. Bone Wall instead summons a pillar of rotting corpses that knocks enemies into the air, damaging them, and slows nearby enemies. The damage of Bone Wall is increased by 18%. On the shoulders, I'm using Abnegation. Bone Spikes now also knocks enemies away, and the cooldown is 3.6%. For the legs, I'm using Proxomial Fear, where Wraith Form causes enemies that you touch to flee in fear and damages them. Wraith Form's damage is increased to 18%. For the first main hand, I'm using Communal Rib. Bone Spirits now has 20% charge to inflict fear on enemies, lasting 2.4 seconds. You cannot fear the same target more often than every 4 seconds. For the first offhand, I'm using Soul Levy, where Bone Spirits now instantly unleashes many spirits, but no longer consumes energy to maintain the effect. Bone Spirit's damage is increased by 18%. For the second main hand, I'm using Ill Tongue, where Bone Spirit's damage is increased by 19%. For the second main hand, I'm using Pyre's Allure, where Bone Wall can now be ignited with Soulfire, dealing damage per second to nearby enemies. The damage increased by 90%. Let's look at the spells. Bone Wall's your rotting corpses. When you shoot Soulfire, has the aura. Bone Spikes, down there, so you'll see sparks come out the ground. For the Bone Spirits, you'll see the ray of Bone Spirits and Wraith Form normal to fear the enemies. The next short video is showcasing highlights of Battleground. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing, hit that like button, and if you have any advice, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.
Wait, it seems.